and welcome to Rise, Heal, and Grow. I'm Leah M. Hill. This show is a podcast production of Apollo Sunrise Center, which is a health, wellness, and spiritual retreat center in Merrimack, Massachusetts. On this show, we shine the light on those who nurture wellness and inspire positive change. My guest today is Kampa Vashi Deva. He is a Tai Chi Master and a nationally certified practitioner of Asian bodywork and energy healing. Welcome, Kampa.
Hey, Leah. Thank you.
Thank you for being here today. Yeah. There are so many different things that you do in your work, in your career, and we have lots of different practices and modalities to talk about. But I first want to get a sense of your journey, like where you started, how you got into energy healing to begin with.
Wow, I'll try to keep my story kind of short, but it actually started when I was very young.
Oh, okay.
I was about 5 or 6 years old when I discovered that I was talking to a spirit, or it could have been God or something like that. I was out in the front yard, and I just started feeling this energy from my hands.
Really?
And I was like saying to myself, and I thought I've heard voices, but I really don't know what it was because I was just a little kid.
Yeah.
And I heard this voice saying, I'm going to use this energy someday. And,
oh my goodness.
You know, time's gone by and, you know, trying to, you know, grow up through life.
Yeah, and lead a normal life after getting a message like that.
Yeah, and so many distractions came about.
Sure.
But somehow I came back around when I was around maybe like in my early 20s. I started meeting all kinds of healers and psychics and people that are into this type of work.
Yeah.
And I kind of related to it, but at the same time I was like, are these people real? Or, you know, what's going on?
Right.
Strange, you know, conversations of this
right.
style of whatever you want to call it, healing, spiritual touch, or you know, energy work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it evolved, and then you got into Tai Chi, right? You became a Tai Chi Master. And can you just briefly explain what Tai Chi is for anyone that might not be familiar with it?
So Tai Chi is actually a martial art. It's a Chinese form from the Chinese culture. Tai Chi Chuan is the actual definition. Tai Chi means superior ultimate shadow boxing. Okay. The Chuan means boxing, and Tai Chi means moving like a great river.
Oh, I did not know that. That's great, because I have known you for many years and actually took many of your Tai Chi classes years ago. We won't say how many years ago that was. It was a few years ago. But one of the things that I remember about your method of teaching, that when I was in your class, is that I was in a class that was like a weekend, it was maybe a Sunday afternoon or something, and there were all these different people there. I mean, it was like some people that were very fit and very in shape, and some people who were not, and then there was me that was sort of like, you know, kind of in the middle, not really sure about this, and had never experienced Tai Chi before. And what you were able to do with a large group of people was fascinating to me, because you were able to individualize it. You know, I don't know what my expectation was. Maybe it was like, okay, this is sort of like, you know, going in the army and everybody has to, you know, it's like, okay, touch your toes, do this, do that, you know, feeling like everybody just has to keep up and do the same thing. But you had a way of making it very individualized based on wherever that person was that day.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I have a way of communicating through people based on studying their body structure. Okay. And listening to them, and just from my experience, I know that when I move my body, and I went through my studies for many years trying to figure this out as well, that you have to have a certain kind of position within you. It's an internal practice. Tai Chi is called internal martial arts. So you have to go inside, and you got to go deep, and you have to study your actions. And so when I learned about martial arts. Before I did Tai Chi, I also did hard style martial art, karate.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I did that for 18 years. And then when I found Tai Chi, I was like, this is it. This is where I want to be. And I was a teacher, a young teacher of the karate, but when I became interested in Tai Chi, I became more fascinated about it because of the internal practice. So when I study people's body structure, I somehow innately knew or know what to do and how to explain what they need to do.
That's amazing.
To practice the Tai Chi a little easier for their own use.
Yeah, that's amazing, because there were so many, like I said, so many people in the class that were like me, just, we were not necessarily athletes or, experiencing this before, but you found a way to explain it, which is so important. And I think it's fascinating that you had this experience that you described as a child, a very young child, of like knowing that there's some special energy maybe or power that comes through you. And then having the experience of studying that in a, first of all, more physical way with the martial arts, and then evolving into the energy healing work that you do now. So that's quite quite an evolution.
It is. So the practice of Tai Chi Chuan is working with energy. And before I even studied Tai Chi Chuan, I was studying books on energy work using like shiatsu or acupressure.
Okay.
And so when I was reading these books, I was looking at, how there's channels in the body where energy flows, and there's these certain points that are used for activating the body or balancing the energy in the body. And so I was just totally, really like deeply involved in trying to understand how this energy practice work together, and where does Tai Chi fit in and all that. And so, yeah, the Tai Chi started me, but then when I started to practice what's called Tui-Na.
Tui-Na,
Yeah,
okay.
I started getting into that. It's a Chinese practice of Asian bodywork, using your hands, using the traditional Chinese theories of Chinese medicine, and studying the principles, learning about the channels and the organs and the points and all that stuff, making that the base of my practice.
So could the Tui-Na be similar to acupuncture, working with the meridians, or is it just all the energy in the body?
Very similar. The only difference is I'm not using any needles.
No needles.
No needles.
Well, we like that. We like that.
And it's a different, certification as well.
Okay.
I'm also with the client most of the time, as in acupuncture. They'll place the needles in and then they'll leave you alone.
Right.
Come back and check on you
and you
later.
don't do that, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. Yes, that's what I've experienced with acupuncture. I'm like, how long? What time is it? How long have I been on this table? That's true. So that's helpful. But you also do other modalities such as cupping and red light therapy. So cupping, if I remember, is that for the lymphatic system, or is that? Am I thinking of something different?
It's generally for removing toxins out of the body and helping to move the stagnation of energy or blood. Okay. And whenever there's pain in the body, there's stagnation, the blood is moving slow, it needs to flow, we need to create more elasticity. Okay. And so the cupping helps. Instead of pressing down on the skin or muscle area, it's pulling upward instead. It's doing the opposite effect.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, thank you for explaining that. I didn't know that.
It's because cupping is a vacuum.
Yeah. Okay, great. And then also red light therapy, which is a frequency, it sounds like.
Red light therapy is a whole new thing, actually. It's just started coming around. And I added that in my new branding of my business, Kampa's Healing Hands, as an emerging therapy of my work. And I'd like to talk more about that. So it's technology that now we are able to harness and have right in in your location, wherever I don't know if it's in your town, but where I am in Haverhill, I have 2 stations set up, and pretty soon I'm going to have 5 total stations.
Oh my goodess!
Set up.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is exciting. All right. So it's something where a person would, what would they receive from the red light therapy? Is it pain healing or something, anything in particular?
So there's evidence-based in healthcare that red light therapy actually reduces inflammation in the body.
Oh, okay.
And it also, as an overall wellness, it generally, because it's reducing inflammation in the body, it's also treating joint pain or muscle ache.
Nice.
It's also known for rapid recovery from athletic injuries or after surgery. It also is known to help the brain function better.
Wow.
For
So
cognitivity.
So the client is actually going into like a room or a space with the red light therapy. So it's going all over them. It's not
It's
like
a
just in
full-size panel.
Oh, okay.
I call a biophoton bed. So
Okay.
it's like a tanning station, but it's for healing. So they lay on the bed, and they have not only red light therapy, it's also PEMF,
Okay.
pulse electrical and magnetic frequency,
Okay.
with far infrared and near infrared. I know it's technical stuff, but it's all included in this
Yeah.
biophoton bed. And all they do is they lay down, and the frequencies and the light spectrums does its thing, and it sells for itself.
That's amazing. Wow. I'm going to have to try this.
Yeah, you should.
I like this.
I recommend everyone to try it.
Wow.
Definitely.
That's great. And then in addition to all of those three, the Tui-Na, the cupping, the red light therapy rather, and you also do Tong Ren therapy, which
Yes.
is another different modality.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
So I should say I don't do enough of it because there's so many other things that I do.
Yeah.
But Tong Ren is another practice that I learned when I was younger. And the founder is Master Tom Tam, and he's become a very famous author and healer. And so, so Tong Ren is generally a form of healing from a distance, tapping on a doll with a magnetic hammer. Back in the day, before that happened, we used a hammer. We used to actually stick needles in the doll.
Really?
And then,
I would imagine that made a few people uncomfortable. I
Yeah,
don't
we
know,
got criticized because they were saying, "Oh, that's voodoo" or whatever
That's what
it is.
it sounds like or looks like. Yeah,
but it
it's
actually
not.
worked. It's just that because not everyone's able to access as a healer learning Tong Ren to get these needles because only licensed acupuncturists are supposed to use these needles.
Oh, I see.
So then he figured out that you can use the magnetic hammer, which was also brought from China from another a medical doctor. His name was Dr. Shi at the time. Back in the 90s, he came and visited the United States through Tom Tam, and he taught us how to use the hammer on our bodies.
Oh,
Just for tapping
okay.
certain points and meridians.
Yeah.
And it actually, I was going through times when I needed my own personal healing, and that was a tool for self-healing.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then Tom Tam, the founder of Tong Ren, started tapping the doll and found out that it also works
It still
that way.
works.
Yeah. So
Wow.
this energy comes out of this collective consciousness of tapping the doll,
Yeah.
and people get miraculous healing, and it's amazing because I don't really know how it actually works, but it even works better from a phone call.
Really?
Right? Yeah.
So you're on the phone with the client.
With a client,
and then you have the doll.
and I'm tapping it,
And
and
you're
they feel it, and it's
Oh
like,
my goodness.
that is strange, but whatever. If it works, it works.
Doesn't right? It works. It works. So you have this sort of energetic backpack, let's say, of all these different modalities that you do and all these different offerings, right? So someone comes to you and says, "I want to work with you. I'm whatever, I'm stuck with emotional problems, physical pain." How do you navigate all these different options? Do you just tune into the person? Do you find out what they're most receptive to? Like, how do you know what the person needs? Or do they come to you and say, "I only want this. I only want Tong Ren"?
It's kind of all of that, but generally
Okay.
they will tell me, I'll have them fill out an intake form, and then I can work off of that. But
Yeah.
generally they'll call me, and then they'll tell me on the phone, or I'll meet them in person, and they'll just tell me right away. And a lot of people that come to me generally, everyone has a very similar symptom, pain. They all have pain.
Physical pain?
Physical
Or
pain.
Physical pain,
Chronic
okay.
pain, tension, stress, anxiety.
Right.
It's all the same kind of symptoms, and it all depends on, is it in their neck, is it in their back, is it in their lower back, is it in their joints?
Yeah.
Are they having, issues with their digestion? Do they have, migraine headaches, that kind of stuff? Then I'll assess from there. I'll tune into them, and I'll start doing my thing.
Okay, and it's reminding me of what you talked about early, a few minutes ago on the show about how you were teaching Tai Chi and you were able to just kind of assess the person's structure, their physical structure, and then determine what they need. It sounds like you're kind of doing that in a similar way, maybe.
Yeah, well, when studying Tai Chi, you have to really observe the self, as well as when you practice, watching how the teacher teaches and what maybe the teacher's looking for, and after what does the student do after the teacher gives the lesson? What does their body structure look like?
Oh, I see. Okay.
And there's
right.
it's
How
like
they're taking
it's
it
also like a
from there.
map, because when you're studying Tai Chi, you're learning step-by-step movements, and then each segment or area of what they're learning has specific kind of postures, and when they are flowing correctly, you can see the postures coming through them. But if they're out of balance, if they're just slightly holding their posture incorrectly, it throws off the whole energy
of the whole
flow
practice.
of the practice.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so, with that being said, and back into medicine, I study that with my patients when they walk in. I look at their postures as well, and how
Yeah.
they stand. And
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
You
and-
kind of have all this experience, so
Yeah.
you put it all together somehow to give the person whatever they need in the moment. And do you find that people, receive not only the immediate effects after your session, is there long-term? Is there like the people that come to you with the pain, the chronic pain that they've been suffering with for a long time? How does it like take several sessions, or is it something they can find relief from right away?
Well, it all depends. Again, it depends on how long they've had the problem.
Okay.
But also, it depends on how strong their body is at that time. If they're not getting enough sleep, if they're not resting well, their body's weaker, so they're not able to heal fast enough.
Okay.
So when I go
Got
in,
it.
when I work on them, it might take 2 to 3 to 6, maybe 10. It's hard to say how many sessions, because everyone's different.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like just one session, like for example, like when I treat sciatic pain, and the client could have it for they could have had it for 7 years, they could have had it for 5 weeks. The pain is incredibly excruciating.
Yeah, I know, I've
And
had
in
it.
one session,
I know.
it all depends.
Yeah.
75% of the pain is reduced, just like that.
Wow.
It's
75%.
At least 75%. Not everyone, but most cases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they can walk out of the appointment knowing that they've received
Right.
something very, like a truly special healing, a special
Yeah.
kind of healing. So, so we talked about chronic pain, sciatica, what else? Arthritis. People come to you with joint pain.
Yeah.
Any emotional issues as well?
There's always an emotional issue, because the
Yeah.
mind and the body cannot be separated. And so, there's a lot of psychological and emotional things that's going through the patient's thoughts about, what's going to happen to me. Can I get through this? Am I going to be able to afford it? Can I,
Oh, right.
am I
right,
going
I imagine, yeah.
to, be able to do my normal daily things that I used to do? And so I try to comfort them as best as I can, and just the main thing is just to try to reduce all the stress and the
Yeah.
pain that they're going through as much as I can.
Yeah. Well, that's a challenge in
'cause
itself. Yeah.
even if it's only 10%, 10% is better than 0.
Right, right. So yeah, so people know that, you know, no matter what the issue is, right, they might be coming to you for the physical pain, but you're saying that there's this emotional stuff that's sort of going along with it, that's concurrent, I guess I would say. The word is concurrent with it, and that the type of modalities that you use can sort of break down those barriers in all of those areas. Like even grief, if someone's grieving the loss of a loved one, but they might be coming to you for back pain, you know, just as an example.
What I've noticed, every client, at least 90%, doesn't matter what kind of issue they all have very tight necks. Their necks are very tight, and they sometimes they won't admit it, because they're coming in for like a back pain or something else like that, something below the shoulders, and then I go and I'll touch the neck just because I want to see what's going on.
Oh boy!
Everybody has stiff necks.
Yeah. Text neck, is that what we call it? Text neck, like when you're texting.
Oh
to
yeah,
yes, when you're on that.
Yeah, I'm treating a lot of that.
Right,
sure.
I'm sure. Wow. Okay. So does it matter what mindset the person is in, when the client is in, when they come to you? Like if someone has an open mindset, or someone who might be like a little bit more skeptical, or kind of like, I don't know, you know, what if this is going to help me, would that affect their experience?
Somewhat, in a way, yeah. You know, they have to be open. I mean, if they're calling me, they must be open. If they're actually walking into the door of the clinic, they have to be, you know, ready to receive something. Sometimes it's the spouse bringing the mother in, or the father.
Right. I need you to fix him.
Yeah, and they're not ready, but the spouse is ready.
Okay, yeah, then that must be interesting to deal with that kind of situation, definitely. Okay, so it does in a sense matter. I mean, that's what I feel like with any energy healing work, that the more you're open to it and the more you're willing to change, is the way I say it. Like someone who just comes to you and says, just fix me, it's probably not going to be as effective, because that person has to participate. It's got to be interactive, right? They've got to have some willingness to make a change.
Yeah.
Whether
Absolutely.
it's emotional or physical or something, you know. And because we know, like, you know, we think about our health in general, we all know we have to eat right and exercise, but we don't all do it, you know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, it goes beyond that, though. It's more like, okay, I know that this chronic pain has been bothering me for years, or since an accident, or whatever it is, but I'm not willing to struggle with it any longer. I'm willing to let it go, and I'm willing to do something to make it go away. And then that sounds like when you get the most powerful changes, right? The biggest transformation. Yeah, definitely. So on this journey that you've had through all these modalities, all this energy work, from the time that you were 5 years old, which I love that story, you know, that you received this message, this energy from when you were 5 years old, is there any, you know, like a one truth or a mantra or something that has guided you through all of these paths? You know, is there anything, or is it just from that one moment all those years ago?
There was a time before I even started my professional work, from hanging out with, or not exactly hanging out, but just knowing these psychic people. Okay, all right. So I don't know if you ever heard of the Natural Spiritualist Church that's in Salem or in Swampscott?
Yes, I have. I've been there. Yep.
So I was invited or told, you should go there. You got to go there, and because you're going to see what they do. And I've heard about it, but I was a little skeptical. And so when I went, you know, there was a lot of people there. I really don't know. It could have been 60. It could have been 50. But so I went. I sat down on the pews, because it's like a church, but it was a very different kind of setup. Right. And then someone on the stage said, "Okay, we're going to start doing some healing. If you'd like to come up and sit down, and there's some chairs up front. Have a seat." And the healers would come around and put their hands over you. Right. That's part of their service, their church service. Yep. I said, oh, I'm going to try it out. You know, here I am. Here's my experience. I went to sit down, and when they started, this man put his hands over my shoulders, but didn't touch my body, just hovered his hands. And immediately I heard this voice, and it was so clear, and it sounded like a little boy's voice. It said, "Grandfather, grandfather, thank you so much, thank you."
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, what?
What?
That was
oh
strange.
my gosh.
So then,
wow.
okay, so that part ended, and then we all sat down back on the pews, and then this psychic woman came up onto the stage, and then she started pointing fingers and saying, you over there, and she was pointing towards me, but I wasn't sure if she was pointing at me, and I looked behind me.
Right.
And she says, "No, you." And I go like this, like, "Me?" She goes, "Yes, you." She said, "You have a grandfather or some male figure that's near you saying, whatever you're doing, don't stop. Just keep doing what you're doing."
Oh my goodness.
Right? And I was getting goosebumps and all this and that. So then later that week, I saw my mom, right? I asked my mom, I go, "Who was Grandpa?"
Yeah.
She goes, "Oh, your grandpa, oh yeah, he was a village doctor in the Philippines."
Oh.
And he used to go...
He was a healer.
Yeah, he would go village to village and use bamboo needles and stick these needles in people.
Oh my goodness.
And then she said, and he would use this broom to wisp away the evil spirits over your head.
Oh my God.
And I was like...
And you never knew this.
I was like, "Mom, you never told me about Grandpa." So...
Wow. So he's with you
Yeah.
and guiding you and helping you.
It's very, very freaky, but thank you, Grandpa, for being here this whole time, guiding me through. Yeah.
So many, many years and many practices. Wow, that's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that story.
Sure.
That's a really, it's a deeply personal story, and one that I think sharing publicly here can help so many people, because there's a validation in that. That's what I get from it, is like this validation, from someone who I also had many intuitive psychic kind of experiences as a child, and didn't really get any validation until I was an adult. But to have that kind of like, I found out many years into my adulthood that I had a relative as well that was very psychic and used to do readings for people, and I never knew this. I was like, nobody talked about it, because that was what the family didn't talk about it, right? So it was like, it would have been helpful at some point along the way, but to know that. But it's just so validating to receive that kind of confirmation. That's impressive. That's wonderful. Wow. Yeah. So tell us how we can find you to work with you at Kampa's Healing Hands. Kampa's Healing Hands. Where do we find you?
So most of my work is in Haverhill, Massachusetts. It's at the TAM Healing Center / the old name was the Oriental Culture Institute, and I use space there with my branding business of Kampa's Healing Hands at 85 Essex Street, on the second floor. It's downtown in Haverhill. Downtown,
okay. Yeah. But you have a website, social media?
I do have a website. It's still under construction, but it is kampashealinghands.com.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Great. Yeah. I really appreciate your being here today to just share this part of your story, because like I said, I've known you for years, and I've known you as the Tai Chi Master, and I've known you I knew you were doing the Tong Ren and and these other modalities, but I had no idea that there was so much more backstory to it. So I really appreciate that.
I wish I could explain more and tell you more, but it's so much to express and explain what it is. Who is this guy?
Well, it's only a 30-minute show,
so
we don't
that too.
tons of time. But thank you so much for being here today, Kampa. I really appreciate it. And thank you, all of you, for watching or listening today here on Rise, Heal, and Grow with Leah M. Hill. Please, wherever you're watching us or tuning in, please like, share, and comment, and subscribe to our channel as well. And stay tuned, because we have lots more episodes coming up.